As of the recording of this, we're just a teeny tiny bit away from 2,000 likes on yesterday's video. Hopefully, this video can improve on that. I give you the mission. Go! I just want to give a quick thanks to the Tier 5 channel members and patrons. Bob the Dragon, Data Magnet, Sergeant Puma, Cat Crab Lobster, and Duck Machine. Thank you very much for the support. It is much appreciated. But for me, I shall continue the story. And here we go. Human Weaponry, Chapter 6. Empathy. I want armed squads on those search and rescue birds. We're going to hail them for surrender, but they may not be so cooperative. There are potentially non-combatants on board, so check your targets. Everyone else, relay orders to your respective stations. We are continuing to operate under Combat Alert Alpha. More enemy contacts could drop out of FTL at any moment. That must be it. They were going to see if any hostages were on board the Frisian ship. Surely the captain was not implying that we were going to save the slavers on board that attacked us. The captain was wearing a white formal military dress. Various medals and identifications covered her chest and shoulders. She also wore a fabric dressing on her head, much like Sergeant Garrick was wearing earlier, only more rigid and a different shape. She looked to another human in a white uniform who was sitting in front of a screen to her right. What's our projected time of arrival? Accounting for acceleration and deceleration, we're looking at 9 minutes. She then looked at me. This was the first time that she had addressed me, and she actually knew my name. Moses, you need to get back to Sergeant Garrick and his team. You'll be moved to a bulkhead safe room. They'll keep you safe until we're able to get you back to your people. I hadn't expected her to talk to me. Yes, of course, thank you, Captain. I saw the faintest hint of a smile at the corner of her lips, then went to 2 humans who gestured for me to follow them. They were also dressed in full combat gear. I thought maybe I could experience some casual conversation with 2 regular soldiers, rather than the formal speech of the majority of the humans that I had spoken to till now. I had several questions. I thought it might distract me from having to walk at the human's pace while also being under the strain from the increased gravity. Though I was getting used to it. Are your suits pressurized? The 2 humans looked at each other, even though their visors were reflective. It was easy to tell that they hadn't expected to be asked questions by me. One finally spoke, a much deeper voice than Garrick's. Yes, vacuum rated in an oxygen supply of 15 minutes. What's the purpose of the varying colors of green and brown? Camouflage. But the entire ship is gray, whites and tans. It doesn't blend in here. Camouflage for ground use. We're drop troopers. Earth planet life is mostly shades of green and the soil brown. It would most likely not make sense to switch to dress that shared colors of the interior of the ship. Then every soldier would need 2 uniforms, not to mention that it wouldn't be nearly as effective with how close quarters everything is. The human said something though, said that they were drop troopers. Curious. What does drop trooper mean? We're special forces. That's why we were assigned to the bridge. We're drop troopers because we were trained to drop into battle from orbit in personnel pods. I had nothing to say to that. We got into the same lift that brought me up to the bridge, and now understood why I wasn't led to the safe room immediately, as we passed many bodies and remnants of battle on the way there. Human medics were tending to the wounded. But not just human wounded. They were trying to help the disabled invaders too. What was the point in wasting valuable medical supplies on them? Had the humans not been there, they undoubtedly would have kidnapped and sold me and everyone on my station. Why did they deserve help? I just couldn't stand it. I moved over to a male human medic, in the process of tying some sort of band around the unconscious Florician's arm, which had been mangled. Why are you helping it? The man looked to be older. He had grey hair on his face. His mouth was covered with some sort of mask. He did not look up from his task. It's wounded. It would have killed every one of us if given the chance." He finished tightening the band and began spraying some sort of foam onto the wound on the creature's chest. "I am aware. Then what is the point?" The human still did not look up from his task. The soldiers behind me were trying to get me to continue with them, but probably didn't have the authority to force me. He said in a more methodical voice, no doubt quoting something, "I will follow that system of regimen which, according to my ability and judgment, I consider for the benefit of my patients and the abstain from whatever deleterious and mischievous. If I leave this intruder to die, I am partaking in what is deleterious. I would be committing harm through my own apathy. Now please, leave me be. I am more wounded to tend to." With that, he rose, satisfied with his work on the mangled black slaver. He left me, speechless, and staring down at it. This creature fought with what appeared to be so much bloodlust. It most likely killed human defenders. I could not see it as sapient. It was a thing, a dangerous cancer to be eradicated. And yet, the human treated it as one of their own. Only after seeing that did I realize that there were tears in its eyes, and that it was looking at me. End of chapter. And that, my friends, concludes this video. I hope that you enjoyed.